600 gallons in the back of the tender. That thing that has the coal on the top that they pull up behind them. They put 600 gallons on in the morning, but it takes 1,000 gallons of water to produce the steam to make a round trip. So at the top of this first steep hill, where it's white, the water in that tank is fed by a spring up in the woods, so that's why we usually drain that tank down in late November, and then we retire the steamers until next year. But we did have steamers with preheaters that actually took skiers up for 3 winter seasons. The last season was 2006. The same owners owned the Cog Railway, the Mount Washington Hotel, and the Bretton Woods ski area. Once they sold those, it was a special thing for the hotel people, pretty much, and a lot of local people came up here to ski. It's the only ski area that actually could ski on black snow. It was before the biodiesel. And the steamers have that black soot from the coal burning. The cinders would go out and they would cover that nice brand new white snow that we made. We do have our own snowmaking. You'll notice the pipes on the way up on that side of the tracks. The ski trail was on this side. That's why we have the bridge there, so we can get our equipment up, and that's where the skiers would come down. I'm hoping they'll start it up again. We do have an engine, a special one down below called the jet engine. It has a big shroud that goes out front of the tracks, and it blows hot air down. Otherwise, a lot of days we have to be up here sweeping the tracks with brooms out in front. We'll have at least 2 brakemen on the front. And if it's heavier snow, we have metal shovels that we'll put backwards. We call it shoveling the tracks, but we just go up and we move it as we're going. If we run into some of the drifts, though, then we have to stop the train and get out. Sometimes they're 4 to 6 feet deep, and there's only certain sections that it really builds up a lot this time of year. Our last scheduled trip this year is December 2nd. And during late November, and possibly the first 2 days of December, if Santa Claus is available, we do a Santa Claus trip. That was the steam train coming down from the dock.
1,000 gallons of water.
Yes, but there's a passing lane. The train's going up and down using the same main line. The first switch is right in front of us. We stop before all the switches. Then when we get to the top of this first hill, there's another switch run by battery power. We have solar panels on the building. And we're going to be going to the right-hand side. That's the passing lane. At the end of that, there's about a half-a-mile stretch. And the switch up there is going to be all day left in the position once the last train goes up for the downcoming train. They have the right-of-way. On the way up, we don't like trains running into each other, so we developed a protocol. Yeah. This is the only door you can come in and off on. The only 2 places you can get on or get off the train is right here at the bottom or at the top. But there is another door. It's my door down in the back. For an emergency door. Right now, don't open that door though. It's about 6.5 feet. Right down into the rocks. What'd you count? 68. We need some more people.
Slide over. No, further. No, I'm done, right? fries. Go cook some French fries so we can make it to the top.
Ew.
Yeah, not fun.
We're all set to go as soon as you get a seat. There's a seat right here, a seat right here, and a seat right here. 3 in a row. You ready? Yep. Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, he's fun.
Looks like I missed something. The train already come by?
Nope. It's tricky.
The wind's blowing off. We probably have to put this hat on. If we lose these top hats, they take $80 out of our paycheck.
What is that?
They blow off pretty easy. It's only a week's pay, but...
Lightning. That's how fast this is. Shut up, Wesley. See, when we get to the top of the white part there, it switches and we go onto a different track. I don't like how much... A video this whole spiel about.
You're gonna have to edit the volume out and put it on YouTube. No, sorry, the video.
Right.
You gotta do that, right?
Yeah.
How long is the video you have it on? An hour?
This?
Yeah, how long will it record?
Like 4.5. And the battery dies. Alright, that looks awfully steep.
When that pepper sauce made its first trip, it went all over the world. It was kind of like the moon landing. It made this place famous. This is the first mountain climbing Cog Railway in man's history. It was modern technology. It took 100 years before we made it to the moon. Hoping it doesn't take another 100 before we make it to Mars. That's the Ammonoosuc River. It actually comes from a high elevation. There's a Lake of the Clouds hiker's hut up here that if it clears up enough you can see it. A number of places on the way up. It's above tree line at an elevation of 5,012 feet. The source of this river is 2 little lakes right behind that hiker's hut. The highest one is 5,050 feet. It's North Lake. South Lake is right beside it, twice the size. They're not very deep, but 2 highest bodies of water anywhere east of the Mississippi River. I think there might be a little skating rink up there now. On the 5 o'clock news this morning, it said it was 23 degrees on top of Mount Washington. The all-time low temperature, though, is minus 49. That doesn't include the wind chill.
And the wind was like 150 degrees, or miles an hour. They added up to 213 once.
These yellow leaves right here, that's on a yellow birch. The
When?
white birch that's in front of it That's a dead tree. It doesn't have any leaves. And the one right to the the left-hand side of that yellow one, that's a mountain ash. We have a few other ones right here by the tracks. It's amazing what 3 days difference makes. There was a lot of peak trees up here 3 days ago. The mountain ash right next to us, that thing was loaded with berries, red berries last year. All the mountain ash up on the mountain had berries, big clumps of them. They only bear heavy crops every other year. This is a bad year.
The whole thing's gonna fall apart.
The snow at this elevation is melting fast. We were pretty high up. We left the base at an elevation of 2,700. That's a pretty good size average mountain for New England.
And they made it a ski area. Have fun with your chainsaws. How tight your arms should be. But yeah, there's snow on the trees. This is just depressing.
These shrubs right beside us with the rounded leaves, they've actually been turning color a few weeks earlier than the regular trees up here. They're called hobblebush. There's quite a variety of colors on them. They seem to hold their leaves a little bit longer than the trees. Brakemen have to be real careful what we tell the public. We used to be able to say things and if we, with authority, people would believe it. But now there's such a thing. I think I noticed a couple of smartphones. A few weeks ago, the gentleman in the middle, he hollered up and says, "What do you call those shrubs with the leaves that are turning red and yellow?" I said, "Those would be hobblebush." He seemed to be okay for about 5 minutes. Then he started rapid firing me a whole bunch of questions. There's some of the red ones. He said, what's the scientific first name of the hobblebush?" Well, I was kind of glad that I've been studying the wild plants for over 50 years. I specialize in the edible ones. I said, well, the generic name is viburnum. It's part of the viburnum family. And some of them had red berries. He says, "Those berries edible?" I said, "Well, yeah, they are. But they're not ripe yet. They only ripen when they're black." And he says, "What do the other viburnum bushes look like down below?" I said, "Well, some of them, they call them raisin bush. They don't have the big leaves like that, but they belong to the viburnum family." He said, "Why do they call them raisin bush?" I said, "Well, once the berries are ripened, they turn black and then they shrivel up. They look just like raisins." He said, "Are they edible?" He was asking me a lot of questions. He asked me about this tree right here that fell down too. That's a mountain ash. It blew down during Hurricane Irene last year. It was loaded with berries. But then he got back to the hobblebush. He said, "Well, how'd it get its name?" I said, "Well, the leaves, they grow underneath the branches grow to catch the sunlight. A lot of times they'll get heavy and they'll go down to the ground, they'll root up and they'll start a new plant. It's very hard to work through them." After I answered another 20 questions, he held up his smartphone. He said, "Got it all right."
that cold, are you?
Yeah, then doing the other way?
Mountain ash tree right now. That's one of the last ones to lose its leaves up here on a yearly basis. One of the highlights of the trip up here is to experience how steep the tracks are. Unfortunately, we've tricked you by designing these seats so you can't see steep it is. I'm going to demonstrate how to feel the steepness. You can all try it. You have to stand in the middle. There's not enough room around the seats. This is me standing strict. We only have one rule. Holding on. Cheating. I'll go like that, but you can cheat. One of the highlights, you can stand up at any time. The steepest part is Jacob's Ladder. That's the big curve up there with this little bit of snow. It's pretty steep. You can make sure everybody has an opportunity to stand up up there.
I'll stand up.
You don't dare to stand up. You can hold something in front of you like this. Actually see how steep it is.
The seats are curved forward.
Seats are what?
Curved forward.
Smart. Never not like it.
See any snow machines? I said that they were on the left.
Yeah, it is pretty steep. This guy goes flying to the back. You can stand up.
Beer season is open. You want to track a beer? We've got enough tracking snow now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how long have we been climbing?
I think it's a video.
We got plenty of video.
Not yet.
How can you not see the other train? What's that?
Oh, I was wondering if they were cameras.
Maybe. I don't think so. But maybe.
Here's the water tower. See the water tower, mate? Right here.
Elevation 3,800 feet.
I drove my little sister up there.
Look at the wooden.
I stopped right on the stop hill up there. Is it going to stand up?
This is the most dangerous part. Make sure you don't stick anything out the windows here. You can see why. We come within 6 inches. That would be Fred. You're probably going to go back down on the train that's up in front here, though. The normal procedure is to drop you off for an hour. We're going to be picking up the people they took up. We call that a ghost train. It's only the brakeman on board. His name is Fred, and he's got all his friends on the way down. Don't tell him I said that. The highest the presidentials on this side right through that opening.
You got
On
like
the way back
E for
down.
internet though.
If it clears up,
over here that I did a
hopefully the
belt.
brakeman will tell you about that good picture opportunity.
Yeah, we're a little bit higher. And he drops the camera. Might not see it again. Maybe in so many pieces that don't know where to look. Show up. What's for?
These tracks over here. You've got a red box that goes up here every day. It's a female. It goes to Charlie Tennyson, the general manager's house, quite often. When he opens the door, it goes in and eats out of the cat dish with the cat sitting right there. Keep your eyes open with your cameras ready. They just saw it up here on the right-hand side. You can see the tracks in the snow.
Red box.
Right over here on the right-hand side, if you look over, you can see the box tracks. He's on his way up to get a hot dog.
No problem.
The people on top stay parked. One of the guys has a refrigerator with expensive hot dogs. That box goes up every day.
Surprised it doesn't eat the cat.
Probably did.
Here comes the steam engine.
Oh yeah, now we can get covered.
It's a red box. We have gray boxes up here. They're a little bit smaller, but they have red and gray on the fur. They're the only fox species that actually can climb a tree. Yeah? Oh, thank you. Have your cameras ready. It's going to be a photo opportunity. I'm going to try to get the engineer to actually blow off some steam for us. This side is where the skiers used to get dropped off. For the price of the ticket, they only got 2 runs, and they had to wait for that steam engine to get back down to pick them up at 4 miles an hour. That building has the runs the switch, it's perfectly level. There's some optical illusions up here. The trees are going straight up and down. Sometimes they look like they're leading towards the mountain. Sounds like this is working better than yesterday. It's going to be cutting out on those speakers. If you put your hand up, let me know that you can't hear anything. I'll try to talk louder. You can see the box track right beside the tracks. The most prominent optical illusion is up ahead of us on the right-hand side. It's called the halfway house. We actually had to put a sign underneath the big picture window. It says this building is exactly level. Just keep in mind, we're the ones on the angle. When you look into that window, you can see your reflection. If you wait for the good-looking people inside and they're friendly, it'll...
Look at that. Notice how the trees are getting shorter?
Tracks are right under the tree. In the front, if you keep your eyes down by the tracks, you're probably going to look at the clock. The halfway house is used for storage now. In the early days, when they had trains going, people used to actually exchange each other right there. That was a place to get out of the weather also. That box is headed all the way up for breakfast. If he sees a chipmunk or a squirrel, he'll have it early with him. But that particular fox loves hot dogs.
This is like straight up.
We have a profile rock on the right-hand side. There's a white board. Check out the rock. It has a little snow on it now, but it's a miniature version of our Old Man of the Mountain. Once the snow melts, it'll look a little more just like the Old Man of the Mountain. The fox went down there. He's going to be going up. He doesn't like to cross. This is Jacob's Ladder. This is the steepest part. You want to stand up on the steepest part. This is what it looks like. It's one of the highlights.
You wanna do it? Do it. No, Wes. I get the inside for the. No, Wes. Then I get the inside on the way back. Yes. Look at that. There's nothing to look at.
Sounds like a museum just like it was in the 1800s. They have a 52-inch widescreen TV they just put in this summer. You'll see some pictures of what the boxes look like. They look really good in the winter coat. See down there, Paul? I'll see you coming back.
That's pretty crazy. We even tried to get the inside and see it, and Wes is like, yeah.
Pictures of what it looks like up here. This is the steam train going up. We're going to pass those around.
I guess we aren't seeing anything. Why?
Anybody want to see a bear? All I got some pictures. This is one of the ones that comes up on the mountain. Up on that tree that Mountain Ash that flew over last year. This is the one that gave him the scar on his side of his face. We call that one Scarface. Actually, that one's Scarface. I'm going to pass those around. There's a few other wildlife pictures. I should have pictures of the track. That's all we're seeing so far today.
I just want to jump out and see how far you go. Don't those rocks look so soft? What? Yeah.
You're going to get a full hour on top. We're going to be getting up there about 10 minutes after the hour. Make sure you don't lose your tickets. The train that comes up to pick you up will be that guy on the one in between the steamer and the first train. His name is Lucian, and he'll give you a good shot way down. But he's going to be looking for your tickets, and it's not a... No. If you lose your going down part, make sure you have your receipt. That'll work. But at least when there's snow on the ground, you can retrace your steps.
You said an hour ride up, it's been half an hour. We're almost at the top. Yeah. A sled. The rocks, Wesley. Ski jump at the end.
Back on. raised down in holes around the base of the mountain. And a lot of people, they've trained people to feed them. So they've lost a little bit of pure humor. In fact, the foxes down at the base have been born down there. They've actually trained people to feed them, so sometimes on the way out they'll stop. And they train the little ones to set right in the middle of the road so people will stop and throw out something for them.
Let's see that one. How'd they do that? Oh, they're on the other side of the car, aren't they? You let them stick their head into the cars. We gave them bear bombs.
Buck says they're dead.
Oh, they probably did. That's probably right.
See the fox tracks on that side?
I don't even know.
Foxes can actually walk faster than 6 miles an hour. That's the speed we're going, so evidently he's trying to keep ahead of us. The brakemen on those two other trains, they both saw the fox. They were trying to let me know that it was just ahead.
Snowball Lake. Just a little. Bars, I'm calling it. Taking a picture of nothing. Creepy everything is. What?
The northern presidentials are right over there, just out of your sight. If you want to see what they look like on a perfectly clear day, all you have to do is take it into the museum in the main building for free. Downstairs, they have a large photo of just what it looks like up there, clear day. And they give the names of the top of the mountains. It'll be Mount Madison, the furthest one over. That's Mount Adams, the second highest. Mount Jefferson, right beside 65 feet lower. He was the third president. Then there's a mountain right beside the tracks. It's actually called a knee of Mount Washington, but its original name was Mount Clay, named after a senator from the state of Kentucky. The New Hampshire legislature has changed some of the mountains up here when they've had a chance. It is the presidential range. Mount Pleasant on the southern side became Mount Eisenhower. Well, Mount Clay, they decided to rename it Mount Reagan. But the federal people that had control of the naming on the maps, they left it Mount Clay.
No, he's just putting on gloves now.
We're going to be getting up on top.
Yes.
Minutes after 11.
Next two trains coming up.
The next two trains coming up are going to be getting up here about 10 minutes after the next hour. Make sure you don't miss out. Only going to be guaranteed a seat when you're back down on that train.
Stay up for all the